how to stay focused with these 6 implementations. How to stay focused with these 6 implementations. Have you ever experienced that you wanted to do something and your friends were talking to you or people you cared about were talking to you and they were giving their advice, but actually what they did was scaring you, making you afraid, worry, doubt, right? Have you ever experienced that? Then type 1 in the comments. Or have you ever experienced that you wanted to achieve something and it was your own mind that was keeping you from moving forward? Nah, nah, nah. All these negative, limiting beliefs, why it would perhaps not be just a good reason to move forward on that path, right? Type 2 in the comments if that's you, because that happens to all of us. We all have been there. And right now, in this video, I'm sharing with you 6, how many? 6 implementations that help you to stay focused no matter what. All right. So with our conscious mind, we take decisions. We make decisions, or we think, we don't want this anymore, or we focus, or we show up with dedication, right? So that's what we do with our conscious mind. It's a very conscious choice to go a specific way. Now, the distraction shows up through the outside world, our friends, our family, our environment, but also our senses, right? And that's how we grow up. That's how we get distracted. We see things, we hear things, it gets into us, and then it starts to have its own life if we feed that narrative, if we feed that story. Do you hear? If we feed our own story, if our own story, right, we keep it alive by talking to it, by feeding it, by telling it to other people, right, then it stays alive. Tony Robbins, he says, it is your state and your story, which means first, what is it that you tell yourself? Second, you change your state. How do you change your state? Well, Bob Proctor also put a lot of time and effort into that area because a subconscious mind is dominant for 97% of everything that you experience. That is in your 3D realization, right? So we have 6 traits. And do you see this drawing here? Okay, let me bring it closer to you. Today we're going to talk about these: will, reasoning, imagination, perception, memory, and intuition. It's called our 6 faculties. Okay, why is will so important? Well, will is so important because are you dedicated to refocus to your goal? Are you dedicated to say, hey, wait a minute, this is my life. I feel this resonates with the essence of my core. This is for me, not for you, but for me. You might know me very well, yet I feel inside of me what is true for me. And I know myself for the longest time so far, longer than you know me, and this resonates with me. So I'm going that way. Will is you making sure that you stay focused no matter what, no matter circumstances, no matter outside distractions, no matter what happens in the world, that you have the willpower to say, hey, wait a minute, this is for me. How can I steer it? It's not that there's this blue chair on the street, in the middle of the street, that you just have to go and ask why this happens to you. Just move along and stay focused on your journey. Okay? All right. The second thing is reason. Okay? Our reason. Reason. Why is reason important? Because we are able to think, we are able to weigh, we are able to do pros and cons. Why would something help you? Why wouldn't something help you? Is it keeping you small? Is it bringing you closer to the goal? That's the question. When something happens to you and it seems like a good business deal, it might be that it would have been a few years ago, but right now you have this clarity and it's not a contribution anymore, right? How many of you had that? I had that several times, many, many, many times, and good offerings. And then again, I knew, well, the me of 3 years ago would have been extremely happy with this. But actually, I experienced this and this and this, which I know this is not a good solution to me because it doesn't bring me where I want to be or where I see myself in a year, in 5 or in 10 years. All right. That's the second one. Reason, the ability to think. You have to sit and think. Sit with pen and paper and ask yourself questions and allow yourself to come up with answers. When you ask questions, you receive answers. When you ask smart questions, you receive smart answers. Okay? And I'm also open for the fact that say there's no stupid answers, right? Because answers give clarity. What makes you move forward on your journey? Clarity. So make sure you ask questions and make sure for yourself that you ask smart questions, that you learn something and that you move forward and that you get to think beyond that you were thinking right now. And that's what I'm guiding my clients through as well. Okay, the third reason is it is imagination. Imagination. Imagination is your wild card. Okay, let me ask you a question. Why is that important? Can you look around right now? Look around over your right and left shoulder. And is there anything you see that wasn't an idea at first hand? Everything. The houses, the windows, your desk, your screen, everything, your paper, your pen, your phone, your glass of water, your candle, your flowers in the vase, everything, okay? So imagination is the first key that shows you, hey, wait a minute, if I can imagine it, if I can see it in the back of my mind, I can hold it in my hand. Repeat after me. If I can see it in the back of my mind, I can hold it in my hand. Okay? That's your power. The Wright brothers, who developed the plane, they were mocked for many, many, many years. They knew they had to create resistance before they could lift off. So that was what they were doing. And then when they were in the air for only 7 to 12 seconds, people were saying like, yeah, right, this is not going to work. See, and they were laughing. But they knew if they could keep it in the air for 12 seconds, they were so close to keep it longer in the air and to really lift off. Okay. So, and those were bike mechanics. So your backgrounds might be different, and that's okay. You don't have to have a degree in the things that you are passionate about. Know that, okay? So your imagination is your key for opening doors because energetically it's already there. So go and live from that end. How does it make you feel? The joy, the happiness, the fulfillment, the love, the abundance of time and money. It's all there. The people who love and support you no matter what, who believe in you, who make business deals with you, who invest in you and your business, in your family with time, with dedication, with kindness, with a warm heart. Everything is there in your imagination. You have to give it to yourself first in order for you to receive it. Because you have heard this thousands of times. You become what you are. If you're bitter, you receive more bitterness. If you're happy, you trust that only good things can come from your most difficult situations. then you are changing your life. Okay? So write that down. Go back to the video and take notes because I'm sharing pearls with you guys. Okay, now the fourth reason why you can stay focused no matter what is P of, no, not P, perception, the letter P, okay? Perception. Why? Okay, when you come from a poor man's family, you have to think. You are trained to think that you won't be a rich person because you were born poor. Okay? So, what does that say? It's only a perception because, where is my book? Okay, it's in my bedroom because oh no, it's on the table because I was reading in it last night. That book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, he got together all the common denominators, all the habits that successful people were living by to create huge success. Okay. And if you view yourself a specific way, you cannot grow beyond that vision. Okay. All right. Have you ever heard about the word paradigm? Write it down. A paradigm is a multitude of habits fixed in your subconscious mind. Okay. And a big part of the paradigm is self image. We cannot outperform our self image, which means that however you see yourself, however you view yourself, you will create exactly that. It's a self fulfilling prophecy that happens on a deep level, right? If people say they will blah, blah, blah experience once in their lives, they're creating it because it's the subconscious mind listening and it's just like, okay, that's what you want, just let's give it to you. Okay, I am your helper. I will do whatever it is that you believe to make that happen. When your beliefs are negative, it will make that happen. It's neutral, it doesn't understand what it is, but you feel the how do you say, these big feelings. Whatever you feel big feelings about, you are creating. So if you're creating fear because you feel it, yeah, you're creating fear because of that, right? And I know what I'm talking about because I went through all of these experiences and I know that you were able to change that too. Okay. All right. Take a deep breath. And relaxing exhale. Take a deep breath. And relaxing exhale. So this is why perception is important. Those people in the book by Napoleon Hill, they had traits, they had visions, they had beliefs, they were having habits that come from a particular thought. They were convinced that things were a specific way, and the convincing parts were uplifting, they were supporting. They did whatever good it takes to change their behavior, to change their thoughts, so they would uplift themselves. Okay, and that's what you need to do as well. No poor man mindset. If you want to have enough money to do the things in your life that you want to be doing, then you have to work your money beliefs. And money beliefs are perceptions. Okay, and a perception is just another point of view of the same thing. That's it. It's no big thing. That's perception. It's just a different point of view. And you cannot, how do you say, solve a problem from the same point of view when you created the problem. Okay. You have to think beyond where you are right now. And this you're doing through means of changing your perception. Okay. So write it down because it's so important and it looks so simple, but it is. Okay, look in your environment and see that it's happening for so many people. All right, they think they're going to be unhealthy because it was in their family. They create it, and this is just one small reason, but so many things. When you think you're not successful, or when you think that happy relationships are not for you because your parents did, or you saw in your life that, or whatever you saw in the movies, or whatever you saw in your environment, if that's your convincing, if that's your convincement, if that's your ideas, beliefs, thoughts, then you are creating it unconsciously. Okay, these six faculties are parts of the subconscious mind, when it's responsible for 97% of everything, any result in your life. Then you better make sure that you learn to work with them. Okay, so that was the fourth. Now we step into the fifth. Okay, so 5M means memory. Memory, write it down. So many people think they have a bad memory. How can that be? Now let me ask you a question. Do you recall something from your childhood? Yeah, absolutely. How many years has that been? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, right? So can you say you have a bad memory? No, not at all. So you have to be very aware that your memory is extremely powerful. And you also have experienced that when something happened, a person was there with the same happening, and then their story was different, right? They were focused on different things. Their interpretation gave it a specific meaning, and you created a memory about it, and that was your memory. The person had another memory, right? If you ever experience something and you read an article in the paper, it's like, wait a minute, that's not what happened. I had it in my life. I was somewhere and I saw something happening. And when I read the article about it, it was like, that's not what happened. The meanings behind it are not that. And it was not true. It was not true, right? At least to my memory of that. That made me clear I was not able to trust what was written in the papers, right? And people believe it, people read it and put so much value in it. And it's just a perception, it's just a memory, and it's not the clear facts. And so you have that with your own experiences in your life. We rely upon memories, on interpretations that we created when we were young, most of the time, okay? With a lot of feelings and a lot of repetition. So our memory is either supportive or not supportive, okay? When we think about happy things, okay, then we can feel the emotions and it lifts us up. Yet, when we use the memory to bring us down or to think of negative situations, then it's not going to help us. Okay. So, with our memory, we have to go back to see what is not helping us because subconsciously it's still active. Okay. It's very important you know that because for the subconscious mind, it doesn't matter if it's true or if it's not true. Okay. The example with the lemon. When you imagine yourself having a lemon, you cut the lemon, you smell it, right? You feel the moist over your hands. You take it and you squeeze it above your mouth. When you open your mouth, what's happening, right? You're creating saliva, right? It's saliva, the English word. Always have to think about it, right? So you're imagining it. So your subconscious mind is acting like you are having that experience and it was imagined. All right. So this shows you that we can have things in our memory that are not supporting us. We can change those memories, and it doesn't matter for the subconscious mind if it's true or not. So use it to your benefit. Okay, that's the same what's happening with imagination. It's there in energy. It's there what you see, and then you bring it to reality. And with our memory, we recreate situations in order for us to create those beliefs, that moves us forward, right? It's a very important part, and it's written by Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich as well. All right, almost there. The sixth trait, the sixth implementation is intuition. The sixth one, intuition. It's a very powerful mental faculty. And why is that so? Have you ever known that, you know, I was going to sit somewhere, and it was during an exhibition, and there was a terrace and there was a lot of wind. And I was sitting, and I thought, well, I'm not sitting good here. I don't know why. I am moving to another spot on the table. So I did. And I was still not feeling 100% comfortable. I thought, okay, this is already feeling better, right? What happened all of a sudden? All of a sudden, a lot of wind came up, and the trees they kept in these big plastic carriers, they fell. And actually, it fell straight where I was sitting there at the table at first. So it was my intuition telling me, move. Don't sit there. And I felt very discomfortable. So I moved, right? And it was purely my intuition talking to me. And many of you might have had the same experience with a total different situation. Let me know in the comments, because I'm always very happy to hear such situations, because it shows you there is something stronger that tells you what it is that matters to you. And that intuition is a whispering, it is a knowing, it is a very clear direction. And for some reason, you may not know, pardon me, why these things are happening. That's your intuition. That's your bigger knowing. That is your loving wisdom that is guiding you. Okay. And that intuition, you may have it for your job or the relationship you're in. It's a deep knowing that something is not good for you, or knowing that something else is, or the thing that you're experiencing, or the thing that you are, um, that you have urges for or yearning for, is speaking to you. And your intuition is gold. Okay. So many successful people, they rely on their intuition. They don't doubt it. They just know that's the way to go, because they experienced enough times that they had to listen to their intuition. Perhaps that person was not good for you. And then you say, okay, well, let me give it a go. And then it turned out after 2 years, that person was not good for you, right? How many times did you lose because of that? And so many things. It might be the same for your health, for your job, anything. Okay. So this is why intuition is important. And let me, read your situations when you experienced that your intuition was telling you something and you did not do it. And then, it proved that it was not the good thing for you. And this is how we learn about intuition. Okay. So I tell my children it is actually like a feeling in the belly, sort of a knowing, like you don't know why things you feel a specific way yet, right? And you have to be very careful, because intuition, when you are unclear what intuition is, it might also be your ego, right? Or your limiting beliefs. So that's also what I noticed when people are having worries and doubts. It's the voice of the fear that's talking. Okay. So you have to become aware over time the difference between limiting voices. Oh, I feel resistance. I'm not going to do this. Right. Yeah. Because you're growing, you're expanding, you're just moving outside of your comfort zone. That's not your intuition. That is a sort of resistance, because things are just new. Okay. That's something else. Your intuition is uh, a sense of, yeah, some people call it a sixth sense, because it shows you clarity and it gives you protection, from things that are totally new to you, and it's a sense. And a sense is something else than a doubt or worry or a fear. Okay? You have to become aware about the difference. Okay? So, these are the 6 implementations that keep you focused and going no matter what. And when you and I work together, we go deep on this and we work on it relentlessly. Because when you learn to work together with something that is extremely dominant, your paradigm, and if you learn how to recreate your self image so you can become the person who you truly are with without all limitations and conditioning that happens when you grow up in society, okay, then you become your true self and you are creating your bigger vision. And you have to know that the voice of your soul is connected to universal abundance, which means that when you connect to it and move forward on it and take action every single day and grow the direction where you're going, it is connecting you with abundance that you were never able to think of. All right, because the universe rewards people who contribute, who show their true selves, who know how to own that and resonate with the light in other people and showing them the way that they can do this too. All right, my name is Sige Nagels. I'm a transformational mentor and I help you to get clear on your soul's calling. I'm talking too fast right now, right? So, and we create personal freedom on any single area of our life by stepping into that. So you can embrace your true self and live the way you want to live. Give it a like, give it a comment, share with friends and family this video because I know there's gold in here. Rewatch it, replay it, save the video, and hit the bell sign. So every time a new video comes out, you receive a notification that we're here again for you so you can live your best life, your greatest version. All right. Talk to you very soon. Mwah. Bye bye.